You can find us at BWSSpodcast.com and on Facebook at BWSS Podcast. This is because we said so. Let's start the show.
And now, recording from beautiful and sexy Miami, with your hosts, Seth and Laz and Research Lucas. It's because we said so.
Looking pimpalicious over here.
I think I'm in love.
Good Lord. Uh-oh. So who is the, so this was a...
It's a good friend of mine, but her friend.
Pretty good.
I got her number.
It's all sound absorption.
I can't hear anything.
There you go. Sorry. Huh? Yeah, so what's up with the girl, bro? What's going on here?
This is not for the show.
Okay. So we have a photographer in the room. Good friend of mine, good friend of Elena's, and she's done a couple photo shoots with us. She's actually in the room as well. So if you see some flashes, you guys will know exactly, or hear some clicks, you know what's going on. But the reason I bring this up now instead of maybe a little bit more, later in the show is because we did a photo shoot yesterday, and Lucas and I went to Total Wine because it's a really good place to get some pho, like right next door. And so we picked up the pho. We ended up getting some stuff from Total Wine, and Laz is like, yo, can you pick me up a bottle of Stag's Leap Artemis? Stag's Leap, it's a really good, well-known American Cabernet. It's a bit commercial. Some other like Cask 23 and the Fay and stuff like that is definitely a little bit more for the bang for your buck. But anyway, I was like, what's going on? He shows us a nice little charcuterie and apparently had a nice little date last night. So very nice,
sort of.
Bro. Sort of? I think that, deserves a little bit of applause. Sure. Okay. Well, here's the thing. So you guys are also going to hear some reverb. Everyone, when you're listening, when you're watching, because I have the speakers turned up just so Irene, our lovely photographer, can hear a little bit of what's going on. It's a little bit cooler with the sound effects and stuff like that. That's for sure. So anyway, yeah. So this is because we said so. We got Seth in camera 1. We got Laz in camera 2.
Yo.
We got nobody in camera 3 because we have Lucas in camera 4.
In the building.
That is right. So what's up, Lucas? How's your trip so far?
Pretty good so far.
So far? That's cool. Yeah, he's down here because once again, we had a little bit of a photo shoot, going on, and we wanted to be down here for that, and it's nice to get him into the studio, that's for sure. So that's pretty much what's up. So welcome aboard, happy you're in the room, all that neat stuff. So and I guess with that we can kind of go ahead and get started here. I do want to ask if anybody has any shout outs. Anyone? Wow, crickets just like that? No crickets? I mean, no shout-outs whatsoever?
Shout out to you guys for that photo shoot yesterday, because I definitely did not expect what we were walking into, because it was great.
Oh, what were you? So this is the second photo shoot you've done with us. Well, your expectation. Actually, you know what? Let's save it for the next one, because I actually have that in the docket. Okay. But yeah, I agree. Shout out to you guys as well. Obviously, shout out to Irina. We hooked up some really cool stuff. We're going to talk about it in the fun stuff for sure. So that being said, we record on camera. You can watch everything and all of our shows on YouTube. Hail from Miami. Get us at BWSSpodcast.com, Facebook, BWSS Podcast. You can also get us at, look at Laz, dude. It's the belly shot. That's how we do. So are you selfieing over there?
Yeah.
So Twitter, BWSS Podcast, and Instagram is just BWSS Cast. We release 2 shows a week. Tuesday is the weekend news, and Friday is the fun stuff. And with that, this is BWSS episode 47, the week in news. So Capital Siege, these are our topics today. We're going to talk about the timeline, the aftermath, India's artisanal fountain pens. So apparently the country of India has making these really, really awesome pens, which I think is great. China blocks WHO investigators for COVID. Won't even let them. They're trying to say it's red tape, yada, yada, yada. Driverless Delivery has been given the green light. They're thinking that pretty soon there's going to be delivery going on wirelessly and driverlessly and all that stuff in California. And Nicki Minaj has to pay $450,000 for, and I guess you could say it's an illegal sample. So, did you guys hear about this one?
Illegal sample.
Well, I mean,
she picked up something, made it a song?
She sampled something, and then did you guys hear about this? $450,000.
I heard something about her doing something she wasn't supposed to, but I didn't know it was a sample from a song.
Yeah. So, all right, so we'll get into that real quick. I'm going to do the quick stock update. There's not a whole lot that really happened as far as like what I did, and there weren't any really big booms or anything like that, except for Watt booming again, didn't get in again, missed it again. But that's all right. Those of you who followed my advice and got into it, and just stuck with it, like my friend Dominic, who got it long while back. So back when it was like 80 cents as well. So QS sold it at about $58 a share. I got like 10% out of it. I'm okay with that. It's just kind of stagnating a little bit. Tesla's up 11% for the week, down 8% today because NIO released a new car. And that being said, Tesla dropped a little bit, which I'm okay with. I bought NIO today. Imagine that. It released a new car. It's supposed to have this amazing like battery technology or something like that. So I bought that at 63. It's about like 59. So I lost a little bit today, but that's okay. Like I'm okay with that. And then I bought back in on SBE because it had dropped quite a bit. I got it at 41.05. Right now it's like 42.5, something like that. So that's pretty much what's up. Any last minute thoughts before we go into everyone's favorite segment?
Nope. Let's start the show.
It's time for Quick News.
All right, so BBC, how India's artisanal fountain pens are making their mark. New York-based novelist Amitav Ghosh recently ordered a fountain pen from an artisanal maker in India. Ghosh is willing to wait for his pen to arrive from the maker some 12,000 kilometers, 7,700 miles away in the western city of Pune. Here, Manoj Deshmukh works with a small lathe machine in a small apartment, produces high-quality handmade fountain pens that are sold all over the world. He has no employees. It takes anywhere between 1 to 4 days to make a single pen, sold under the brand name Phosphor, F-O-S-F-O-R. 6 years ago, he quit a thriving 2-decade-long career as a software engineer and began making the pens in his bedroom as a hobby. He watched a few YouTube tutorials. One of his first pens was made of rosewood, which he basically took the wood from a rolling pin, which is awesome. Put it online forums and got $70 from an overseas customer. Today's waiting list stretches up to 2 years. Takes anywhere from 1 to 4 days. He gets about $70 to $160 for them. Indian artisanal pens are getting attention because of their pricing, design, and looks. Most are made of ebonite, a warm and smoky hard rubber, which many modern pen makers do not use, and high-quality acrylic, shatter-resistant transparent plastic. Sleeker pens are made out of titanium, brass, copper, steel, aluminum, wood, including fragrant sandalwood. So that's pretty awesome, man. Obviously, outside of India, we get more listens. Outside the United States, we get more listens in India than anywhere else. So rock on with that. Any of our listeners, if you know someone who makes some pens or you make some pens, contact at BWSS Podcast. Hit us up. I mean, I'll buy a pen. I think that's freaking. And I have some pictures. I'll put a couple pictures up on the video. It's pretty sweet. So I'm going to go with another one. And then you said you had one, Laz?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I'll do another one. So here we go. BBC, Nicki Minaj pays Tracy Chapman $450,000 after a copyright case. So, Tracy Chapman, pretty well-known artist. She had her big album in like 1988, won a bunch of Grammys for it. So basically, Nicki Minaj ended up sampling a track that was from a Jamaican artist named Shelly Thunder, and it was for her track Sorry. So sampled the Jamaican track, but the Jamaican track was sampled off of Chapman's song Baby Can I Hold You Tonight.
Second sample.
So yeah, it's like a sample from a sample. So, but here's the thing that's kind of wishy-washy, kind of fucked up a little bit, is that Nicki Minaj didn't release the track. They just sampled it, made the track, but never released it. And the reason why is because when they found out it was Tracy Chapman's track, what they ended up doing was going to her and saying, hey, can we use this? And then basically they're told no. So basically Tracy Chapman has this blanket, like, nobody sample my shit. Like she just doesn't let anyone do it.
So
Doesn't
who
give
sent?
permission.
So the Jamaican artist didn't get the sample, the proper channels.
They might have not gotten it through the proper channels. There are no proper channels.
Yeah,
She
because she said
says
nothing.
no,
Yeah,
so
no.
they might have gotten sued also. I don't really like. It's just weird. But anyway, the judge sided with Nicki Minaj on the basis of the fact, like, listen, like. Basically, what you're saying is, so every producer at home, including myself, every producer at home, like you can't just go and like sample a track at home and chill at home because she never released it. The reason it got out because it somehow got leaked to Grandmaster Flex, DJ Funkmaster Flex. So he got it, he played it, and that's how it got out. So there's like, you can't really.
So she's not even making money off of it. Right?
She's not making money off of it, but because it got out, so basically the judge was like, okay, so we're not gonna, cause you to be liable for the fact that you sampled it, but what we are gonna do is we're gonna set up another trial to find out how it got leaked. And then Nicki Minaj is like, all right, I'll pay $450,000. Let's just wrap this up.
Yeah, because she leaked that shit on purpose.
So exactly. 100%. 100%, dude. So
it's so crazy when things get leaked. They're like, how are you getting this? Obviously, they leaked it.
Dude, so much stuff gets leaked. So I 100% on that. But it's an interesting story. That's for sure. So 450 for a song she never even released, bro. Shouldn't have leaked that shit.
She's getting media attention.
No doubt.
She's making money off it.
No, she's making money off it because now everybody wants to go listen to it. I didn't try to download
I want to hear it.
Yeah, I want to hear it too, actually. It's got to be out there for sure. For sure. All right, so go ahead, Laz. You said you had something?
Yeah. A Vancouver couple sues Mercedes-Benz for $160,000 for a car they're too scared to drive. Well, basically they took their car in, and the only reason I even thought this was relevant or anything is because we have so many recalls and stuff like that with our cars
all the time,
the times, and their thing is their steering wheel seizes up. Like when they're driving, you just what seizes up means, like you're just driving and they try to make a turn and you can't turn, and
sure.
So they're scared to drive the car. And when they took the car to a Benz dealership, they was like, no, they can't find the problem at the time. So they're like, your car can drive, so just drive it. Who cares? And the car's been sitting there for 3 years. It's a $160,000 car. It's an S-Class. So it was, and the thing is, it's in Canada, but the cars that were in the U.S. with the same problem have got
the recall,
and they've checked it and changed the transitors and whatever it is to make it the power steering.
But they're not doing that in Canada.
But they're not doing it in Canada.
Damn.
So that's kind of sucks for them.
So she'd have to move down here and register a car somewhere.
I don't even. It's hard to get a car from another country because even Layla's mom bought a van from this guy that came from Canada. They shipped it here, but for them to get it registered and stuff like that, they had to go find the owner from Canada to do some paperwork, pay a big fee. It's ridiculous.
Damn.
So
right.
It's harder for shipping cars out of the country.
That's because they don't want you buying cars out of the country and bringing them in here. That's pretty much the whole reason.
All the specifications. I remember my uncle and my dad bought 2 trucks from Germany and to bring to Haiti. They ship it straight from Germany to Haiti. But if you get in those cars, as far as all the safety options we have in over here, they don't even have every car has to come with an airbag here. Those cars didn't have airbags. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just random things that you already when you buy a car you're getting, no matter what, you're not asking about it.
They just don't have it.
They just don't have it.
So can you legally bring it in and still drive it? Because I know there's street legal.
Yeah, but
that's my question
that's from
for
Germany to
Research
Haiti.
Lucas.
Germany to Haiti, it's fine because that's how they get a lot of products in Haiti, from China, which are not would never be able to come into the United States based on their own safety regulations.
Sure.
They're a little bit cheaper. Other than that, a lot of stuff that goes to Haiti comes from the United States.
Sure.
So instead of them buying something from the U.S., they get something from another country, which has way less regulations for a lot of things.
I got you.
Yeah.
I told Lucas he wasn't going to have to do much research. I thought you would have this off the top of your head.
No. The only thing that I know of is...
Mike,
cars.
closer to you?
Yeah. But the only thing that I know of is older vehicles, at least within the States. If it doesn't have seat belts, you don't have to put seat belts in it.
Sure. Okay. So I guess that's it. I guess if it comes in, like that, it's factory.
Before 70s and 80s, there was
Sure.
Didn't have to have seatbelts in cars. Even Fernando's that big pink Cadillac he has.
Yeah.
No seatbelts.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
He got pulled over why not wearing seatbelt? The car didn't come with it.
Oh, yeah.
It's OE spec.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, well, let's go to the next one. All right, BBC Nuro, NURO, set to be California's first driverless delivery service. California has been given the go-ahead for a commercial driverless delivery service for the first time. Robotic startup Nuro, or Nuro, NURO, whatever, plans to start its driverless delivery operations as early as next year. It previously tested its R2 D2 vehicles in a state in April, but the permit will let it charge people for its services. The firm's vehicles are limited to 35 miles per hour, 56 kilometers per hour for all you people in Celsius time, and it will be restricted to operating in fair weather conditions. Nero was founded by two former Google engineers and has funding from Japanese film firm SoftBank. Its vehicles are designed to operate without a driver or passenger in them. The R2 uses radar, thermal imaging, and 360-degree cameras to direct its movements and lacks a steering wheel, pedals, or side view mirrors. The vehicle has two temperature-controlled compartments for deliveries, doors raised to reveal the items once the code has been entered. So it basically pulls up, there's the car, you put your code in, kind of like going to an Amazon box, I guess.
Do they still have those?
Opens up.
Yep.
I don't know. We had them in Maryland.
I
They
haven't
have to
seen them
exist.
for a long time.
So I know in Maryland, the complex that I lived in, it was like two 16-story buildings, and they had them in there for us. So during a previous trial in Houston, Texas, in February, the R2 delivered pizza for Domino's, groceries from the supermarket chain Kroger, and goods from Walmart. In October, driverless taxis began operating in Phoenix, Arizona as part of Google's Waymo service. A similar service backed by the online tech and retail giant Alibaba is currently being trialed in China's biggest city, Shanghai. So
Do you think that R2 is from R2 Star Wars?
I think that'd be cool. I know Elon Musk uses a lot of references and stuff like that in his movies, which I think is pretty freaking awesome too. So, and the last one I got, Forbes. WHO chief very disappointed as China blocks entry of experts to study the origins of COVID-19. WHO head Dr. Tedros has expressed disappointment after China denied entry into an international team of experts studying the origins of the novel coronavirus despite months of tense negotiations and delays over the visit, with the WHO citing visa issues, while China insists the specifics of the visit are still being hashed out. So, in other words, no, we're just trying to work out the paperwork to get you guys in legally.
Bullshit.
Exactly. Tedros said that he had been in contact with senior officials to emphasize that the mission is a priority for WHO, adding that he has been assured that China is speeding up the internal procedure for the earliest possible deployment. A spokesperson for China's foreign ministry contested the WHO's account, telling reporters Friday that it's not just a visa issue. The issue of origin tracing is incredibly complicated. The spokesperson said, claiming that discussions were ongoing for the specific date and specific arrangement of the expert groups. They're already fucking there. They're already they're ready to go. They have it. As soon as you say, come over,
They're
2
good.
days they'll be there. How about that for the specific date?
Because that's basically most of the things of how to find out about the COVID. Because we have people that
Bro.
have had COVID at work and come
Sure.
back, and I'm like, do you know where you got it from? Was it like your family? Did you get it from? He's like, man, I probably got it here. I'm like, yeah, you couldn't got it here because nobody else has it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They say 50% of the transmissions are from people that don't even have. Anywhere
who
from
knows?
25 to 50. Don't
But
even
it's like
have.
if I leave here this
symptoms.
week and then and then Lucas finds out he has COVID or some shit like that, and
Sure.
I'm just like, oh shit, I
coming
have
back.
it. I'm pretty sure it was him. You feel me? It's not gonna be
Sure.
random place.
Well, what's interesting is China. There was another group who were studying, trying to, they taking blood tests from bats or whatever, and China came in and confiscated. China is not letting people at all study this at all. So, but they're not. The 10 strong team includes experts from Japan, Qatar, Germany, Vietnam, Russia, Australia, Denmark, the Netherlands, and the UK and the US. So, yeah, legit, man, they are not letting people in there at all. And it's interesting because you think by now they would have been able to cover up whatever they needed to cover up. But I just feel like it's so obvious or so widespread that they can't possibly even cover it up. So they just don't want people in here at all.
They probably just have other things they just don't want other people to see from outside.
Sure.
That's probably what it is too.
Go ahead, Lucas.
How are you gonna do that to him while he's here?
I know, dude.
You definitely should be more
it's
engaged
not
today,
often that he
Lucas.
gets, look at the crisp camera. I just spit all over the place. The crisp camera,
Love it.
which is pretty cool, I have to say. I'm a little white. Looking a little white right now.
You're white, Seth.
So actually, I will say we had. You can see the keyboards are on this side. So normally they're on this side. We moved some stuff around just so Irina would have some space to move around, and the lights are a little bit closer to me than they normally would because I took some furniture out of the room and everything as well. So with that, 2 shout outs. One, obviously want to shout out Irina. So awesome freaking photo shoot. Like I said, we'll talk about it in the fun stuff. So really, really appreciate it.
Very
Everything
tasteful.
was great. It was very tasteful, sure. I mean, I'm sure we had some untasteful poses, but that's mostly my fault. So I take full blame for stuff like that. Alicia photobombed one. It's like we look amazing. And then it's just
And
this
then she made it better before
she
you say
made
it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like stole it all right in front of the lights. So super, super bright, yada, yada, yada. And my second shout out is for Doug Peterson. Bro,
Doug Peterson.
the coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, he's officially been let go. We talked about the Eagles last week with the whole tanking thing.
Oh, that's their coach?
Yeah, the coach. So they let him go. And basically, in my opinion,
For ethics?
no,
Just
no,
because.
I'm 100% positive Doug Peterson did not want to lose that game. All right, maybe 75. Usually something like that will come from up above. I just think he took the rap for it because a lot of people, you said from, 3 spaces, from 9 to 6, dude, that's a major, major jump in the draft. Like if you're going from like 25 to 22, not so much. But 9 to 6, that's huge. But anyway, it came down to him or Wentz because apparently they were butting heads oftentimes in this situation if the player's good enough and they don't have any baggage. Antonio Brown, obviously not that much. But Carson Wentz doesn't have any baggage, man. He just, unfortunately, just not playing well. And I think the owners decided, you know what? We're going to choose Wentz. Got to go Doug. So that's pretty much it, man. It's a bummer, I'm a little bit disappointed, but, everything's going to be fine.
How long was he with them?
He was with them for, 4 years, I want to say? Took us to the Super Bowl, which is huge.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, any last-minute thoughts? Anyone? No. So, all right, we're going to take our first break, and then we're going to come back with the Capitol Siege. Boom.
Boom.
Dog goes woof, cat goes meow, bird goes tweet, and mouse goes squeak. Cow goes moo, and frog goes croak, and the elephant goes toot. Ducks say quack, and fish go blub, and the seal goes ow, ow, ow. But there's one sound that no one knows. What does the fox say? What the fox say? What the fox say? Hatty, 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 ho. Hatty, 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 ho. Hatty, 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 ho. What the fox say? What the fox say? Big blue eyes, pointy nose, chasing mice and digging holes. Tiny palms up the
Yeah, because, I can turn the speakers down
Turn
now.
that speaker off. Get that hand out of here.
So, where's my hat? Look at fucking Marty McFly and shit.
Hair's fire, though.
No, you're
I
like,
would never wear hats if I were you.
Who, me?
like
Well-
when you came back for the second time, you just went to the room, did this, and came out. I was like, oh, fire!
For the second photo shoot?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you. Well,
I'm gonna be on time today.
sure. You were on time. Gotta give you credit, man. You're on time today. It's great.
My time is
It helps, especially when other people are waiting for us. So, all right. Well, listen, we're back. We're going to jump into the Capitol Siege. I'm going to go ahead. I basically like how it started, what happened, all that.
I couldn't fucking believe it, bro.
I couldn't believe it either. Like I watched it all live because I was just, I watching Alicia and because it was one of those days where I just got up and Elena had something to do. She had a doctor's appointment or whatever. So I don't know. She was out, and it was just me and Alicia. So turn on watching CNN. Like, okay, it's the day they're gonna certify, and it's all good.
When Lucas texted, I was just watching like my random shows on like TBS or whatever.
Sure.
And I'm taking my daughter more days now because her sister goes to her dad, no problem now because her mom doesn't care anymore.
Sure.
So now I have Layla only most of the days. So then I'm sitting there and Lucas texts. I thought it was a joke, bro. Like literally.
Nah.
And I'm just like, how the hell? And you guys been to DC? Like,
Yeah.
there's
I lived
no
there practically.
way like hundreds of people or thousands of people are just gonna walk towards that Capitol building and nobody notice anything.
Sure.
And I'm sitting there, I'm telling my dad, I'm like, how the fuck is this possible? And he's looking at me, he's like, it's possible. I'm like, no, Dad. Like,
It's not.
It's not.
Unless it's very well orchestrated.
and then, let's see what you have to say and then we'll talk about it.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
let me get into it. Like I said, I have the timeline. I've got the aftermath, all that stuff. So, and GQ, I got to give GQ magazine, bro, their like article that they put together on this, and they've had several actually put together. Got to give them credit. Like really, really nicely done for sure. So anyway, GQ, how the attack on the Capitol happened from planning to siege to arrests. On December 21st, Ray Kovler said, and I quote, on January 6th, armed Trumpist militias will be rallying in D.C. at Trump's orders. It's highly likely that they'll try to storm the Capitol after it certifies Joe Biden's win. I don't think this is sunk in yet. Kovler is a political consultant with a background in government relations in the UK who studies extremist Trump message boards. Many people went beyond Kovler and went as far as to email D.C. police warning them of an incoming siege. So this guy predicted it, and other people predicted it and even reported it and even like clearly went to the police and said, you guys got to be careful about this shit. And of course, nobody fucking listened, or it was stifled. And then Trump, this is where it all started on his end. Big protest in DC on January 6th. Be there, will be wild, exclamation point. Once Trump said, be there, Kovler said they interpreted that as a call to action as their marching orders. As one Trump supporter on Reddit interpreted it, dude, Daddy says be there in D.C. on January 6th. Like, really?
Yo,
Daddy.
I knew something would happen. I thought they would try something worse.
You thought they'd try something worse? I think they tried to do something worse.
Here's the thing.
It just didn't happen. Some people,
I didn't think it would happen. You know what I mean? Like, they would try and then it would be stopped. That's how I really felt.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, like, it was basically simple. You feel me? Like, it's like if I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna grab 10 people and just run into Seth's house and steal all his shit.
That's
like, I mean, like,
it's pretty close.
And then I'm like, but somebody's probably gonna stop me. That's how I felt. Like,
Sure.
how is that even possible?
Sure.
And we've seen like the Black Lives Matter protests and everything that's gonna happen. They're already ready, guns, army,
People
National
talked
Guard.
about
Like,
it. It's funny because I didn't really think about it on my own. When I saw people talking about it, I'm like, holy shit, like that's like for real. BLM protests and there's freaking armed guards
before they even got there.
National
It was
Guard,
already there.
already there. Like the Lincoln Memorial, some shit.
Yeah.
All right. So how was it planned? On the Donald, which is I think like a website or something like that, or anyway, on the Donald forum. There you go. On the Donald forum, plans grew increasingly specific. Posters discussed that there are only 2,000 Capitol Police members, a number they can easily overwhelm. Floor plans were posted alongside directives. Find the tunnels, arrest the worst traitors, one posted. One person planning on attending the rally wrote a post titled, "Today I told my kids goodbye." Like,
Wow.
really? Like, really? Fucking, yeah, because you're probably going to jail. So, this is,
Or dead. That's what probably would have happened. You feel
Sure.
me? Like, that's what I would expect to happen with something like that going on.
yeah, for sure. For sure. But,
Like,
I
4
mean,
people
I
died.
expected more people to die. A lot of people got hurt, but they're obviously only talking about, for the most part, talking about the injuries.
yeah.
All this bullshit about not bringing guns to D.C. needs to stop, one post read. This is America. Fuck D.C. It's the Constitution. Bring your goddamn guns. So discussions weren't contained in message boards either. Plans were made on the popular platform Parler, which we talked about, and I didn't even know what it was until Lucas, you brought it up. I think you put it in our group text about it's being pulled down. Like, what the hell is that? Where one user asked followers to vote who they wanted to see dispatched first between Nancy Pelosi, John Roberts, and Mike Pence. And Mike Pence got involved with all this shit. And we'll say, just because Trump was like, hey, stop this shit. And Mike Pence, I can't just because I'm the guy that reads the shit and says anyone object and I hear no objections. All right,
There's
next.
nothing he can do, bro.
There's nothing he can fucking do. Trump, it's just, dude.
They got him out of there fast though.
No, dude, they did. They got him out.
They were.
But Trump never was like, "Hey, bro, you okay?" Or never reached out to see how he's doing.
No, all he said was, "You're not my friend anymore."
Oh, he said that?
Yeah.
He said that, like he put in a text or something?
Dude, I keep seeing these posts from CNN, MSN, all the...
You're not my friend anymore.
You're not my friend anymore. I don't want to talk to you anymore. You're mean.
Yeah, you're mean, mister. So, all right. So on, let's see, Twitter and TikTok, on Twitter and TikTok, Advanced Democracy found accounts associated with QAnon frequently tweeted about January 6th in the lead-up day. People traveled from around the country. One plane from Texas, D.C. was overrun with Trump supporters who projected Trump's logo across the roof and harassed fellow passengers. On a flight from Salt Lake City to Washington on Tuesday, a group of Trump supporters directed their ire at Mitt Romney, who was on a freaking flight. Many chanted traitor at him, while another called for the senator to resign because he is one of the few people that actually voted to impeach Trump, way back in the fucking day.
He was the only
Republican, the only one. So Democrats, sure, the only Republican that is to and I give him credit, man. Good for him. Unfortunately, he's taking some flack for it, but that takes a lot of fucking balls to do the right thing. During his rally Wednesday morning, Trump said, Romney, I wonder if he enjoyed it. I wonder if he enjoyed his flight last night. So he heard about it. He was talking all this shit. So it all started with a rally, though. Trump held a rally that day, about a mile and a half away, charged them all up, and freaking sent them all over the fucking Capitol.
And do it.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
Did you see the video of Trump watching the protest?
No. There's a video of him watching it?
Yeah, and there was some lady dancing through the music behind him.
Really? Finally got
There's a lady
you,
dancing.
bitch.
There's a lady dancing where?
Behind Trump as he's watching the protest.
Really?
Yep.
She's dancing, like for real. It's not. Oh, geez, dude, that's fucked up.
There's music in the background.
Sure.
dancing to
Is
that.
it real though? Or is it like
That gotta
a
be
made up
fake,
post?
man. I don't see how that could ever fucking get out. I mean, maybe
A lot of stuff got out, bro.
that's true.
Last week we talked about the phone call.
That's true.
Come on,
That's true. So at the rally, Trump himself said, "You will never take back our country with weakness." Donald Trump Jr. Wrote, "We're coming for you," and basically the senators who are not behind Trump and Rudy Giuliani. What a fuck! If he can't get any more stupid and just especially after Borat, he might as well just go down in flames. It's he went full retard.
They're old. Just relax, enjoy the rest of your life.
Rudy Giuliani said, "Trial by combat would be necessary to win this election. Trial by combat, Game of Thrones. What the hell is wrong with this guy?" So basically, Trump ran down. He said, "I'll be there with you. We're going to take this down." Literally, quote unquote, after this, we're going to walk down and I'll be there with you. Went to the fucking White House. Everybody went to the fucking Capitol. That's pretty much how it started. And they got there and they fucking, slowly stormed and eventually they got inside.
What if you would have went? You ever think about that? If he actually was
Thing is, I could
marching
see
with
him
them,
going in there.
I could definitely see that happening.
I don't know, man.
With that, I just imagine wrestling shows back in the day when Trump would go do some random shit.
Yeah, I remember that. He was on Saturday Night Live too. He was cool. He was cool, man. He was a cool guy. Then got all fucked up.
The one thing I will say is I'm glad that they stayed behind their that velvet rope.
The velvet rope?
Yeah, inside the rotunda with all the statues.
Oh, yeah. I give him credit for not fucking up the statues and shit like that. They ought to not because it's, fucking America. Jesus. So
taking pictures.
Oh, this was another thing too with that. Well, where after everything starts coming up, social media, you're seeing the cops letting them in. Like,
Well, at one point though, like they were just like,
nah, bro.
you just gotta fucking.
Nah, they were letting them in. People were taking
One
selfies
took a
with cops.
selfie, yeah.
They took selfies.
That's
You
bad
could see
optics.
somebody opening the barriers. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's not.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It doesn't
But
matter.
they were Trump supporters.
But your job
Viva
is
la
your
televisión.
job. Your job is to secure lives.
Sure,
So,
I hear ya.
and the building.
Yeah.
I think even the commissioner, the chief,
The police chief resigned. Yeah.
I believe she's resigned because like you can't even. It doesn't matter what you like or don't like. We've worked in places where it's like, yeah, even if we're not happy with the person that we're serving or taking care of, it's like, okay, you got to do it, and you got to do it the proper way. You can't just decide, you know what, I'm agreeing with this. Just come in, fuck it. Like, I'll take a picture with you too. Selfie. Like,
sure.
Come on.
And that's exactly what happened. He probably was like, listen, if I don't take a picture or a selfie with this guy, he's probably they're going to go after me. He's like, just be nice. Because, dude, I mean, they're way, way outnumbered at this point.
Yeah, but still.
And outgunned, for that matter. All right, so once inside, after entering the Capitol building, rioters seemed unaware of what to do. So they began to loiter, grab shit, take pictures, get into offices and stuff.
Because they never thought they would get in.
Many believe they were following Trump's orders to seize the building, and people were pissed because they got in there and they're like, okay, now what? One person, he calls people to descend on D.C. for what? 9 hours, and then instructs them to go home. The Donald, in the aftermath, people posted, people have lost time, money, family, potentially careers, and even their lives over this. And he doesn't even show up. Go ahead, Lucas.
Another thing, one of the protesters were recognized at an airport.
Sure.
And they put him on as a no-fly list for as a terrorist.
Dude, there's a lot of shit that freaking happened.
I couldn't find anything on it, and I just saw like the video, and he's like, this is bullshit. That I'm like, yo, bro, you see what the fuck you did? How you gonna be at the airport trying to get on a plane right now? And they're labeling me a terrorist. I'm not a terrorist. I'm like, yo.
A lot of them shaved. Like the guys that had beards, they shaved so they wouldn't be fucking, recognized.
Is that why you got a haircut, Lucas?
Uh-oh, yeah, right? Good call.
Yeah.
It's working. Nobody recognized you.
But actually, with that, the no-fly list, CNN Politics, at least 25 domestic terrorism cases have been opened.
Yeah, I believe it. I think they fucking should. Yep. Many lawmakers, including Nancy Pelosi and Mike Pence, were evacuated to safe locations. The insurrectionists, this is fucking crazy. The insurrectionists made it so deep into the building that they managed to infiltrate the Capitol Visitor Center, an underground bunker built into the aftermath of 9/11. It cost roughly $700 million and has multiple secure rooms and blast-resistant doors. Police intended to take evacuating senators there, but the mob was already in the fucking building. Like, they were already freaking there. So D.C. police officers finally arrived at 5 o'clock. That's when they started to move people out. And then, of course, the National Guard finally got in there. And that's when they were a little bit rougher and a little bit like more manhandling and got the perimeter around the building so they could get forward with the actual, I guess, verification of Biden becoming the elector or the president or whatever.
That went late into the night, like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Like, yeah, I stayed up till about 12:30. I'm like, all right, I gotta fucking go to bed. People are still freaking, rejecting or what the hell? I can't even freaking say what it is anymore. I've heard it so many damn times. So, but yeah, they didn't agree. They're like, no, are objecting. They're like, I object, and then like have to go fucking talk about it. A bunch of dumbasses. So, was anyone else? I know I was asking where the National Guard is. Anyone else out there asking where the fuck the National Guard was?
Yeah.
It's like, how does this happen?
They already knew. That's why I don't understand this, because they already knew what was going on. Like, that's what makes no sense to me. Even when they have, I keep bringing the BLM, the Black Lives Matter stuff.
Sure.
It's just like, whenever there's a case pending, when they don't know if it's going to be guilty or not guilty, or if they're going to move on with the case, there's already National Guard or heavy police presence, heavy protection there. So how do you already know something like that is already going to happen? They just said it an hour ago. Like, what are you doing? It doesn't make any sense.
So I'll tell you, because I have it. I was actually on the phone with Leader Hoyer, who was pleading with us to send in the Guard. Maryland Governor Larry Hogan said Hogan relayed those requests to the Defense Department, which denied them. The current administration started defanging the National Guard in the delays leading up to January 6th. Pentagon placed tight limits on the D.C. National Guard ahead of pro-Trump protests this week, trying to ensure the use of military force remained constrained. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser requested greater preparation, but the Pentagon denied the use of riot gear and prohibited interacting with protesters unless necessary for self-defense. So no riot gear, not allowed to do with the protesters unless it's self-defense. So basically, and then even as Wednesday's events grew more chaotic, the White House was resistant to deploy the National Guard. Trump initially rebuffed and resisted a request to mobilize the National Guard. It eventually fell on Pence to authorize the group's deployment. So, and yeah, dude, we already talked about freaking Black Lives Matter. They already would have fucking been there. The Army official told the Post that the delay was in part due to a concern over the optics of the National Guard in the halls of the Capitol building. So yeah, I mean, we just didn't want the public to see the National Guard, in the Capitol building. That's why we waited. So all 1,100 DC National Guard and 650 for Virginia went in there. So it wasn't until like darkness fell all across the land, midnight hour is close at hand. Dude, fucking.
Is that your quote?
No, definitely not. So
when you was reading the first thing, I'm like, when you said I was on the phone, I'm like, you're on the phone with who? But I didn't realize you were reading. I'm like,
I knew that actually when I was reading, I knew it kind of came across that way. But yeah, dude, Trump already made it difficult for them to send in the National Guard and waited. Dude, the whole fucking thing was orchestrated. So let's get into some resignations because there have been a lot. A lot of people are just like, you know what, fuck this guy, and rightfully so. So for many in the Trump administration, the riot was the last straw for their continued employment in the Trump White House. Stephen Sun, the Capitol Police Chief, we already talked about that. U.S. Secretary of Transportation Elaine Chao, former Chief of Staff Rick Mulvaney, who was serving as a special envoy to North Ireland. White House Deputy National Security Advisor Matt Pottinger, Melania Trump's Chief of Staff and Education Secretary Betsy DeVos.
I'm glad about that one.
Well,
I mean, damage is already done, but she's just a dumbass.
So yeah, Betsy DeVos, just awful pick for education secretary, but it is what it is.
we had talked about her before.
You got to give her credit though, 100% for just this aggression will not stand, man. So today, acting Homeland Secretary Chad Wolf resigned. So this was today. So that's another one that kind of came out too. So, and this is kind of funny. White House Economic Advisor Larry Kudlow decided now would be time to save up, use his saved up vacation days. So instead of resigning, he's just going to take his vacation. And by the time that's over, Biden will be in the White House, which I think is great. So that's definitely one way to do it. For sure.
It's definitely changing a lot of people's careers, man. Like, fuck.
Bro.
You know what I mean?
Ruined.
Especially if the level...
Yeah, that too.
The level that they are at right now, where they came from, Like, it's hard to be in politics and be that high, being police chiefs and senators and stuff like that.
No doubt.
And now it's just over, and you got to go back, try to, redeem yourself.
A lot of people made a lot of fucking mistakes. Jesus, there's a little crack there. I know
man.
you guys heard it. I appreciate you guys for not bringing it up. That's nice.
With Pence, man, he's fuck, not fucked, but we talked about this yesterday. It's just he had he didn't have a choice to
His
do
job
what he wants to do.
is to back up the president.
Exactly.
And he could either be, the Kingslayer, be the guy who didn't back up his president, or he could do what he knows is probably the right thing. And I think politically, he's a politician. He's got to just
do it.
Do what he should do, which is just back up the president.
It's crazy.
So, all right, NBC News Twitter on Friday removed the accounts of Michael Flynn, Sidney Powell, and other high-profile supporters of Trump who promoted the QAnon conspiracy. Flynn took the oath for the conspiracy last year, which is just ridiculous. Notable arrests after the riot. Jake Angeli, a.k.a. Q Shaman, the guy with the horns and the makeup and all that, arrested. So forceful entry and trespassing and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Richard Barnett, Adam Johnson. He's the guy who was carrying Nancy Pelosi's lectern or podium or whatever, arrested,
No, he's
charged
just
with theft.
taking a stand.
Huh?
He was taking a stand.
That's pretty funny. He took a big stand. There's no doubt about
What about
that.
the guy that was sitting on the chair, the main Pence chair?
Oh yeah. Oh, I don't know if they got him. I feel like I don't know if he was one of the ones they were trying to like figure out who it was. I don't know if they got him yet. So Richard Barnett, the one that had his feet on Pelosi's office, got him. All these guys had shaved, by the way. It's hilarious. He was also charged with theft of public money, property, or records because he took a letter off of her desk. Larry Brock, who was, you can see him in the chambers with like full riot gear and everything. He is a retired Air Force lieutenant colonel, which is pretty high up. Graduate of the Air Force Academy and combat veteran. Cleveland Grover Meredith Jr. Mr. Meredith was charged with threatening Miss Pelosi after he traveled to Washington for the pro-Trump rally, saying he's going to put a bullet in her noggin on live TV. Mr. Meredith has connections to the QAnon conspiracy theory and actually got a freaking billboard that's hashtag QAnon all in caps and along with the name of his business, Car Nuts Car Wash, NUTZ. So hashtag QAnon Car Nuts Car Wash. I'm sure he probably lost a lot more business than he gained. And then Derek Evans, who just got freaking elected in November to West Virginia's House of Delegates, and he was there. He got arrested. He even lived it. I think it was Facebook Live. We're in. Derek Evans is in the Capitol. So we got
that spot.
What's that?
He just got elected for.
He just got fucking elected. Yeah, he's done. That's it.
Done.
He's arrested. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you can like just kicked off like that, but I have to assume he's done.
It's crazy.
Maybe not. All right. Recent blowback. Reddit banned the subreddit Donald Trump, citing violation of its policies, of course. YouTube and TikTok said they would crack down on videos that circulate false claims of election fraud. Last week, Simon & Schuster announced they are canceling Senator John Foley's upcoming book about the tyranny of big tech. He's a Republican from Missouri. Hotel giant Marriott will temporarily cut off donations to Republicans who voted against certifying electoral college results. Financial giants Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, JP Morgan, Chase, and Morgan Stanley, they will pause political contributions. The insurer network Blue Cross Blue Shield and Commerce Bank owner Commerce Bank Shares say they'll cut off the donations to lawmakers who objected. National Association of Manufacturers, and this is huge. There's a lot of like manufacturers. They were always behind Trump, and there's a lot of them. An industry group said that supporters of Trump for years, they were supporters of Trump for years. They condemned the president and called his cabinet to invoke the 25th Amendment. Airbnb is withholding PAC donations to all legislators involved. American Express is doing the same thing. AT&T decided to spend all contributions to vote. They actually are also to the ones who voted against it. But Dow Chemical said immediately suspending all corporate and employee political action. Let's see, Charles Schwab, Coca-Cola, Facebook, Visa, even Bill Belichick said he's going to refuse the Presidential Medal of Freedom from Donald Trump.
Wow,
got to give him fucking credit for that. That just came out today.
He never has balls.
Seriously,
so, like,
we'll give him credit. Putin stole his fucking ring.
Finally, he did something.
But I gotta give him credit, man. That's definitely the way to do it. And something about a golf course, Lucas.
Yeah, the 2022 PGA Golf Tour.
Yep,
they are not holding it at any of the Trump properties.
Oh,
hell yeah!
Fuck.
Good. Fuck that guy. Colin Powell said he's not going to be a Republican anymore.
Yeah, I saw that.
Dude,
that's awesome.
He should have been a Republican in the first place.
Like, well, yeah.
But whatever. It's finally.
Every time
why? Because he's black.
Yes. I'll pull that card today.
What's that, Lucas?
Every time I hear a Colin Powell, I think of Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle? Did he do Colin Powell?
Yeah, he race draft.
Race draft? Oh, I didn't see that one.
What did he do? I saw it. I can't remember it right now, but it's hilarious though.
They call out Colin Powell.
Someone who's I've known for a long time, pretty close to me. I'm not going to say who he or she is. Who's a Trump supporter, and not like QAnon and like Trump and woo and tyranny and. But just was a Trump supporter, and even this person was like, "Yeah, Trump is losing his mind." So I was like, finally, and there are people that just Don't care.
I'm back and forth. I told you, like with my group of friends, I have a lot of friends, especially on Facebook, and like,
And they make good
out there.
points.
They make a lot of good points most of the time.
I hear ya.
This week was a silent
Dude.
week, bro. Like that, bro.
Yeah,
like I didn't
exactly.
see polls. I didn't see
Nothing.
anything. Yeah, I'm like, obviously, most of my like friends and stuff are not Trump supporters, but I do have like a few, and obviously, I'm the person I can talk to people and not judge people on whatever they decide on.
Sure.
And obviously, there's always something good, but not this week. There's nothing good. There's
Nope.
nothing good. There's nothing
Not for
good.
them.
Fuck.
It's all right. All right. Well, that being the case, I think we pretty much wrapped that up. Lucas, you ready for your favorite segment?
It's time for.
Wait a minute. What the fuck? All right. WTF News, folks. What you got, Lucas?
This week, it comes from apnews.com, and it's from Australia.
Australia? Okay.
And it's recent, January 5th. Fisherman rescues naked fugitive from Australian tree.
Australian tree?
Naked.
Okay.
They found this dude living in some kind of nest, like 30 inches above crocodile-infested waters.
30 inches
A
above
nest?
Crocodile
Like
Dundee.
living in the nest?
Huh?
Living in the nest?
Yeah, like he made himself a little
Like
house.
in a tree? Like
Yeah.
a little...
Yeah.
Okay.
They picked him up, gave him some clothes, and gave him a beer, and actually took him to the hospital.
I like that. Give him a beer.
Where
Gave him a beer, I know.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
he was arrested for Yeah.
It's funny because he's here.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Right back there.
Right here.
Yeah. He was on bail for he's facing breaching bail and aggravated assault. He cut off his electronic leg monitoring device.
Sure.
But he's also wanted for armed robbery, multiple aggravated assaults, and deprivation of liberty and stealing.
Okay. Wow. It's a lot. No wonder he's living in a nest.
But could you
Down by the river.
what the fuck was a fisherman found him naked in a tree?
Found him naked in a tree.
Yes.
I can wait.
My arm's not long enough.
So a fisherman. So I guess he was done fishing and
Right here.
Yeah, there. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. All right. Well. So a fisherman finds a naked fugitive living in a nest in a tree.
I had
We'll
a
take
fucking
it.
weird one from this week.
What's that?
I had a weird one from this week.
I mean, I had to find something because this capital thing, that was the...
Oh, they had it was like all over everything.
Well,
And
that's
I
what the fun stuff is about.
I deleted so much stuff because I was like, I'm just gonna find it in a couple of days. But
Sure.
they had 2 Florida men accused of robbing graves for religious ritual.
What?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the fuck? And it was like,
Is this in America?
yeah, Florida, Mount Dora, Florida.
Fucking of course.
I don't know
it's
where the fuck
Florida.
Mount Dora is. That's why I
course.
remember I was telling you earlier. I'm like, Florida man.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Da, da,
They,
da, da.
Yeah,
They were
right.
digging up graves and stealing skulls from a cemetery and
What?
using them for religious practices.
Wow.
Or
Okay.
like voodoo, hoodoo.
Who knows? They look
Hoodoo?
like,
What the hell is hoodoo?
You never heard of hoodoo?
No. I've heard of you.
Dumbass. like
Hoodoo you.
Brian Montalvo Tolentino of Davenport.
Yep.
And Juan they're Hispanic.
Into the mic,
So,
please.
They're Hispanic most likely. Lopez, maybe they could be anybody. But they caught them because they were smoking cigars and cigarettes, and they got the DNA sample from that. And
Oh,
they tested it.
nice.
Yeah, and that's how
So
they
they
got
left their
caught.
cigars there?
Yep.
So dumb.
So they got charged with disturbing the
How did
contents
they have
of
their
a grave.
DNA already? Were they already like fugitives or like,
I think they wait.
They did the
One of them confessed.
okay. There you
The
go.
answer was submitted into a database for comparison. Officials said one sample matched Brian Montalvo
Damn.
Tolentino, and
Sounds more Italian.
they
than Latin.
contacted Polk County Sheriff's Office, and detectives obtained a search warrant for mouth swabs from Tolentino, and then it was a direct comparison.
Direct hit.
Yep. And then the other one just told on himself. It's like he confessed.
It was me.
Confessed to
Okay.
going to the cemetery with Juan Burgos Lopez. And
Religious freedom. Come on, it's America.
Nah, you can't break into it.
No, you definitely can't.
Charges disturbing contents of a grave, abuse of a dead body.
Okay. Fair enough.
Dumbasses.
All right.
I guess.
Try getting a job with a record like that now.
Yeah, that's going to be
What
tough.
I just stole some skulls.
Yeah,
Like-
that's federal, right? That has to be federal. I would
Is
think.
it?
It's got to be.
Um,
All right. Well, I guess that's pretty much it. I think we did a pretty good job. Had a really nice rundown of what happened. Hopefully everything's peaceful on the way out. Hopefully Biden goes in and everything's peaceful. They're saying it's not. They better have the fucking
They
national
better be
guard for that
fucking
shit.
ready next
They
week.
better be
bro.
ready for that shit.
What day is that?
So see you next Wednesday. So any last minute thoughts? Anyone? Crickets. Okay, crickets it is. All right. All right. Well, I guess that's it. This is Seth in camera 1. We got Laz in camera 2. We got Lucas in camera 4, everyone. And that was the week in news. We'll see you guys in a few days with the fun stuff. Boom.
A friendly host will you communicate by more how will you speak to that host